The starbound Eclipse hummed softly, its dark alloys gleaming under the bioluminescent glow of blue control panels. Shadows stretched long across the cavernous cargo bay. Crates and containers were stacked high like silent sentinels. Conveyor belts glided smoothly, the air filled with the scent of metal and recycled oxygen. First Mate Jazara stood firm near the far wall, her sharp eyes, pale and calculating, fixed on the figure before her. The human, Ryan Blake, stood relaxed, hands raised in greeting. His worn clothes looked out of place among the sleek Sonari uniforms, but he wore a calm smile. "You shouldn't be here." Jasara's voice was cold, edged with suspicion. She held a pair of glowing energy cups ready to restrain. Ryan shook his head, voice steady and light. "I'm supposed to be aboard, look." He pulled out a folded stack of papers, crumpled but official. "Transit papers? They're for another ship. Doesn't mean I'm not meant to be on this one." Jasara's eyes narrowed. She scanned the documents quickly. The symbols and writing were strange, incomprehensible, yet they radiated authority. The cargo bay's dim blue lights flickered as the ship's soft hum echoed in the silence. The tension was sharp, almost electric. Before Jasara could say more, the stamping sound of heavy-scaled feet echoed down the metal stairwell. Captain Volaric appeared, his tall form looming under the blue glow. His mottled green skin shimmered faintly. Yellow eyes glowed with a cold light. His sharp jaw set tight as he surveyed the scene. "What is this disturbance, First Mate?" His voice was deep and resonant, commanding attention. Jasara stepped aside. "Captain, we found this human hiding in the cargo bay. He claims he belongs here, but produces papers meant for another ship. We don't know his intentions." Volaric approached slowly. His gaze drilled into Ryan. The human held his smile steady, hands still raised. Ryan spoke calmly. "Captain Volaric, I'm Ryan Blake." "I'm Ryan Blake. I'm not your enemy. I'm here on official business, though there's been a mix-up with the transport." The captain's eyes flicked to the papers again, uncertainty flickering. The Sonari crew exchanged uneasy looks. Humans were rare, unpredictable, dangerous. Jasara broke the silence. "Captain, this is a security risk. We can't let an unknown human roam our ship." Volaric's mouth tightened. "Detain him. Use the secure human cell. We'll question him in time." Ryan's smile didn't fade. "Of course, I understand." Jasara snapped the glowing cuffs around Ryan's wrists. The energy crackled softly. Ryan showed no resistance. As they led him through the dim corridors, the ship's metal walls seemed colder, the blue lights harsher. Ryan walked with steady steps. His cheerful demeanor unsettled the Sonari guards. The secure human cell awaited, a small cubicle lined with translucent, softly glowing orange energy barriers. The walls pulsed faintly with protective force fields. Jasara locked the cell door with a hiss and stepped back. "You'll stay here until we decide your fate." Ryan leaned against the barrier, still smiling. "I promise, I'm not going anywhere." "You got me locked up pretty well." Volaric studied him a moment longer. "Your friendliness doesn't ease my mind, human." Ryan chuckled softly. "I get that a lot." The captain turned and left, the echo of his footsteps fading into the ship's humming silence. The crew remained tense, eyes flicking warily to the glowing cell. In that moment, human and Sonari faced an uneasy standoff. The starbound Eclipse held its breath. A single human, calm and smiling, had turned their world upside down. No one knew what would happen next. But one truth was clear. This human was unlike anyone they had met before. The human cell was small. A translucent energy barrier glowed soft orange, casting long shadows on the cold metal floor. Ryan Blake sat on a simple cot, one leg crossed over the other, grinning like he was in a cozy room rather than a prison. The hum of the starbound Eclipse thrummed faintly through the walls. Two Sonari guards stood outside the cell. They wore sleek black uniforms, their silver insignias gleaming under the dim overhead lights. Their yellow eyes flicked to Ryan with suspicion. Yet Ryan met their gazes without fear. He leaned back, hands clasped behind his head, relaxed. "Hey," Ryan said, voice light and friendly. "Could you bring me a book? Something about galactic history, maybe? Or alien cultures? I like stories." One guard blinked, unsure how to respond. The other murmured something in Sonari, and minutes later a small datapad slid through a slot in the barrier. Ryan's smile widened. "Thanks. Reading helps pass the time." He flipped through the pages with easy fingers. "You guys don't have any good stories about humans, do you?" "I'm kinda surprised." The guards exchanged glances. A third joined them, clearly annoyed. "Why don't you act like a prisoner?" one guard grunted. Ryan shrugged. "What's the point of sulking? I'm not going anywhere. Besides, misery doesn't suit me." The door to the corridor hissed softly. Captain Volaric arrived, his mottled green skin shimmering faintly under the blue corridor lights. His scaled hands were folded sternly. Yellow eyes narrowed as he studied the unusual scene. Ryan looked up, catching sight of the captain. "Captain Volaric, sir." "Good to see you again." His tone was casual, almost teasing. The captain's jaw twitched. "I expected hostility, resistance, cunning plots." Ryan chuckled softly. "Sorry to disappoint. I'm just a guy stuck in the wrong place." Volaric stepped closer, his voice low. "You know we cannot trust you. Humans are unpredictable, dangerous." Ryan's eyes sparkled with calm confidence. "Unpredictable? Maybe, but I'd say that's because you don't understand us yet. Or maybe you're just overestimating how scary we are." The captain frowned, tension tightening his scaled face. "Your behavior confounds us." "You do not fit the profile. Profiles are boring," Ryan replied with a grin. "Try talking to me like a person. You might learn something." Volaric gestured sharply. Two guards stepped forward, weapons ready. Ryan raised his hand, still smiling. "Relax. No sudden moves. I'm not here to fight." Ryan shrugged again. "I don't see this as imprisonment, more like a chance to make friends." A nervous chuckle escaped one guard, and soon the corridor echoed with soft laughter. Volaric's eyes widened in disbelief. "Why do you joke?" the captain asked. "Because laughter is universal," Ryan said. "Even in tight spots, it's good to keep your spirit up." Volaric paced slowly. "Your resilience is unusual." Ryan nodded, flipping a page on the datapad. "We humans have this strange habit of smiling at trouble. Keeps it from winning." The captain's gaze drifted toward the soft orange glow of the energy barrier. "Your cell is secure, yet you speak as if you are free." Ryan grinned wider. "I'm free inside my head." That counts for something. Volaric studied him, the rigid lines of command softening just a little. "You do not behave like a prisoner. This challenges everything we believe." Ryan shrugged. "Maybe it's time to rethink those beliefs." The captain glanced at his guards, who still looked uneasy but less hostile. Ryan's relaxed demeanor had unsettled them all, not with fear, but with curiosity. Volaric took a deep breath. "Tell me, human, what is your purpose aboard the Starbound Eclipse?" Ryan folded the datapad and looked up, eyes steady. "Honestly, I was supposed to be on a different ship. But since I'm here now, might as well make the best of it." The crew watched from the shadows. This human wasn't a threat, not the kind they imagined. Ryan's calm, friendly behavior unraveled their fears. It showed strength they hadn't expected, a strange power in patience and humor. Volaric nodded slowly, a flicker of respect in his gaze. "Perhaps humanity is not the enemy we feared." Ryan smiled, the warm orange light catching the determination in his eyes. "Tell your crew this, humans don't always fight with fists. Sometimes we fight with kindness." The captain's yellow eyes lingered on Ryan, unsettled but intrigued. The Starbound Eclipse had a new mystery, one that might change everything. The Starbound Eclipse shuddered violently. Alarms blared, shrieking through every steel corridor. Red emergency lights flooded the dark halls with urgent warning. "Vorak fleet, they're on us!" shouted a young Sinari technician, fingers flying over a holographic console. Sparks crackled as the ship rocked again, the deep groans of the hull echoing through the metal bones of the vessel. Captain Volaric's scaled hand slammed onto the command chair's arms. His yellow eyes blazed beneath heavy ridges. "All hands to battle stations. Defend the Starbound Eclipse at all costs!" The crew leapt into action, armored forms rushing past. Energy shields flickered to life. Weapon turrets hummed, tracking invisible targets outside the thick viewports. Suddenly, near the cell block, a sharp metallic click echoed. First metallic click echoed. First Mate Jasara's sharp gaze snapped toward the sound. The energy lock on Ryan Blake's cell flickered once, then vanished. Ryan stepped out, calm and collected. His worn jacket creaked as he moved, his grip steady on a compact plasma baton gleaming blue in his hand. "What the hell?" Jasara gasped. Captain Volaric's eyes widened in disbelief. "How? You're not supposed to be free." Ryan grinned. "Locks aren't much for humans. I figured I should help." His voice was cool, steady. No fear, no hesitation. Before anyone could respond, Ryan sprinted into the corridor. His movements were fluid, practiced. He ducked behind a bulkhead as a plasma blast scorched the wall inches from his shoulder. "Ryan, what are you doing?" "Get back to your cell!" Jasara shouted, firing a stun beam that Ryan dodged with a quick roll. "No time," Ryan called back over the chaos. "The ship's not going to save itself." The Vorak boarding party had already breached the outer airlock, spilling into the ship's lower decks. Alien silhouettes flashed in the crimson light, weapons drawn. Ryan moved like a shadow among them. He struck hard and fast, plasma baton meeting armored Vorak limbs, sending attackers crashing into walls. "Cover me!" Ryan barked to a group of Sonari crew pinned down in a narrow corridor. Without waiting, he charged, his baton blazing in arcs of blue light. The Sonari watched in stunned silence as Ryan fought. His strikes were precise, brutal, and clever. He didn't just brawl, he used the ship's layout, leading enemies into tight choke points. "By the ancestors," whispered one guard, ducking behind a crate as Ryan disabled a Vorak with a quick jab to the spine. Captain Volarik's voice crackled over comms. "All units, fall back and regroup at the armory." "Ryan, I see you. Do not engage alone." Ryan's reply was calm. "Can't wait, Captain. These guys want to fight. Let's give it to them." He turned a corner sharply, surprising a Vorak sniper lining up a shot at retreating crew. With a swift flick, Ryan's baton fired a pulse that knocked the sniper's weapon loose. "Got your six!" Ryan shouted to a weary Sonari soldier, helping him to his feet. "Keep moving!" The corridors shook again as the Vorak intensified their assault. Explosions rocked the ship's core, sending showers of sparks and debris. Yet Ryan pressed on. In one narrow hallway, he disarmed 3 attackers in quick succession, his baton a blur of controlled fury. "Impressive," Volarik said quietly into his comms. "He fights with the skill of a veteran soldier." Jasara's voice was strained. "We thought he was just a stowaway, lost and harmless. He's a weapon." Ryan caught a brief glance of the command deck above, where Volarik barked orders. The captain's jaw was set, his eyes wide with a mix of fear and awe. "Ryan, we have critical systems under fire." "Can you reach the engine room?" Volarik demanded. "On it," Ryan answered. "Cover me." The path to the engines was a gauntlet. Vorak troops poured through bulkheads with heavy blasters blazing. Ryan ducked, rolled, and struck with unerring precision. He disabled a plasma turret by short-circuiting its power conduit. He hacked a control panel with nimble fingers despite the chaos. Crew members rallied behind him, inspired by the human's fearless lead. At the engine room hatch, Ryan planted an energy dampener. The Vorak attackers hesitated, their advance faltering. "System stabilizing," his voice crackled over the ship's comms. "Vorak won't get through here." Captain Volarik exhaled, disbelief still etched deep on his face. "Human, you may have just saved us." Ryan smiled beneath his breath. "Just doing what I can." The battle raged on, but the tide had turned. The starbound Eclipse fought back harder. The Vorak boarding party, caught off guard by Ryan's skill and courage, began to fall back. In the command deck, crew members exchanged looks of amazement. The prisoner was no victim. He was a warrior. First Mate Jasara muttered, "We underestimated him. We underestimated humans." Ryan's calm fury had shattered every assumption. In the heart of enemy fire, he was a force none had predicted, and the starbound Eclipse would live to tell the tale. The starbound Eclipse lay quiet now, but the scars of combat still marked its steel skin. Flickering lights hummed unevenly. Scorch marks streaked the once pristine corridors. Loose wiring sparked faintly from damaged panels. The smell of burnt circuits lingered in the air. Captain Volarik moved swiftly through the ship. His scaled feet made no sound against the cold metal floor. His yellow eyes scanned every corner. His mottled green skin glistened under the emergency red lighting. "Where is he?" Volarik muttered. His voice was low, tense. Ryan Blake had vanished during the attack. The human cell was empty. The energy barrier flickered weakly, deactivated in the chaos. The captain's gut twisted. The prisoner had simply disappeared. Volarik's mind raced. Could Ryan have escaped? Was he hiding? Or worse, attacking from the shadows? The corridors twisted around the command deck like metal veins. Volarik's hand brushed electronic panels, activating security feeds. A narrow tunnel led toward the cargo bay, the last place Ryan was seen before the alarms. Then, through the gloom, a soft glow appeared. A warm orange light pulsed gently from behind a reinforced transparent barrier. There, in the small cell, sat Ryan Blake. Cross-legged on a simple metal cot, he looked calm, peaceful. A thick printed book rested in his hands. The cover read "Galactic Histories" in bold human letters. Ryan's eyes scanned the page, untroubled by the chaos outside. The human glanced up, offering a relaxed smile. Captain Volaric, Ryan said, voice steady. Volaric stared, disbelief frozen on his scaled face. How? How did you get back here? He demanded. It's quite simple, he replied. Your human locks are more welcoming than you realize. Volaric's hand moved to the control panel. He tried to open the cell, but the locks remained sealed, humming with soft energy. These locks, he said, I could have bypassed them any time. They're designed for humans, after all. I know all their tricks. Volaric narrowed his eyes. Then why return? You could have escaped. You could have vanished completely. There was no need to cause more fear. I wanted to show I'm not a threat, not here to run or fight blindly. The captain's mind wrestled with this. A prisoner who fought alongside the crew. A prisoner who chose restraint over freedom. It was more than the Sonari expected. Ryan's calm presence filled the cramped cell, a stark contrast to the chaos that surrounded them. Volaric's gaze softened, respect growing. Your actions saved lives today, he said quietly. You proved strength isn't just force, it's control. Ryan nodded, closing his book gently. I believe in choice, discipline. The cell's orange glow bathed his features, highlighting the quiet confidence in his eyes. Volaric stepped closer to the barrier. Why reveal that now? He asked. Because trust begins with honesty, Ryan replied. I wanted you to know that I am not your enemy, not unless you force me. The captain considered the words. Around them, the ship's hum shifted, moving from battle-scarred tension to cautious calm. Very well, Ryan Blake, you remain under our watch, but know this, we honor your courage. The captain turned to leave, then paused. That, Captain, is a story for another day. Volaric's eyes glowed faintly with amusement as he moved away. The starbound eclipse settled into uneasy peace. But the ship and its crew had changed. One human stowaway had flipped their world upside down, and now they knew strength was not always loud. Sometimes it was the calm hand behind the barrier. The calm that won battles without breaking a sweat. The calm that made allies out of enemies. Ryan Blake closed his book and gazed out the narrow viewport. Stars burned bright beyond the ship's hull, and now, a human ready to face them all. The briefing room buzzed with low murmurs. The starbound eclipse's hollow projection flickered softly above the table. Star systems spun slowly, distant suns glowing cold blue and white. Captain Volaric stood at the head, scaled hands resting on the console. His yellow eyes burned with a new resolve. Ryan Blake stood among the Sonari crew. No longer a prisoner, no longer an intruder. His posture was relaxed but confident. The crew watched him, their expressions a mix of awe and hesitation. Human, Volaric began, voice steady but thick with emotion. Your actions, your restraint, they have shattered every fear we carried. Ryan smiled, the faint curve full of calm strength. We're not what you thought. We choose cooperation. Strength isn't about chaos. It's about control, loyalty, trust. Jazara stepped forward, her sharp eyes softer now. You fought like a storm, yet you returned voluntarily. Why? Ryan's gaze met hers. Because real strength isn't just in the fight. It's knowing when to hold back, to build, not break. He paused, then added, we humans believe in allies, not enemies. The room fell silent. Ships hummed quietly outside the thick bulkheads. The glow from the projection painted faces in blue light. Volaric gestured toward the star map. This is your home world, his voice echoed through the chamber. A distant place filled with challenges we barely understand. Yet you carry your people's hope across the stars. Alone, you might seem fragile, but with your choices, you become unstoppable. Crew members exchanged looks. The tension of captivity and battle faded. Now, understanding dawned. Ryan's bravery wasn't just in combat. It was in character. A young Sonari officer raised a question, voice hesitant. Why reveal your secrets to us? To our ship? Ryan's smile grew wider, genuine. Because trust starts small. With one ship, one crew. We want to be known for more than fear. Volaric nodded slowly. He stepped closer, eyes locked on Ryan's steady figure. You have changed our course, not just of this ship, but our future. Ryan's hands moved as he spoke, passionate but clear. Imagine what our species can do if we work together, strength paired with wisdom, courage paired with kindness. The hollow projection shifted, showing star routes connecting Sonari and human worlds. The lines glowed brightly, promising new paths. Volaric extended a scaled hand. On behalf of the starbound eclipse and the Sonari people, I offer you and your kind an invitation. To join us in dialogue, to build an alliance, to face the galaxy not as rivals but as partners. Ryan didn't hesitate. He clasped the alien's hand firmly, a handshake bridging worlds. The crew around them watched, some smiling, others wiping away disbelief. The air felt charged with possibility. The dark metal walls of the starbound eclipse held a new light, the light of hope. Cesara whispered to a fellow officer, "We misjudged them! We misjudged him!" Ryan's voice rose clear and strong. "This is only the beginning. Together we're stronger than any enemy." Outside the viewport, stars stretched endlessly. New stories waited to be written. Stories where humans were not threats but champions. Where friendship crossed light years. The starbound eclipse no longer carried a prisoner. It carried a promise. Humanity's legend was just beginning, and the galaxy would never see them the same way again.